In the previous episode, April discovered the truth about her father's death. She revealed to Sheriff Forbes and the mayor that she knew about the supernatural occurrences and all the lies everyone had been telling. Klaus uncovered Tyler's plan to rebel, which led to the massacre of 12 hybrids. As retaliation, Klaus drowned Tyler's mother. Meanwhile, Stefan and Rebecca formed an alliance to search for the cure together. At the bar, 198 people were turned into vampires. These newly turned vampires had all been prepared by Klaus for Jeremy, with the sole purpose of helping him expand his hunter's mark. But Jeremy was furious and refused to kill innocent people. Klaus then threatened Matt's life. Although Damon initially supported Klaus's plan, Jeremy's stubborn refusal forced Damon to cover their escape, helping Jeremy and Matt get away. Even though these newborn vampires weren't strong fighters, they had sheer numbers on their side, and the three were chased by them throughout the night. Elena rushed to the scene upon hearing the news. They took refuge in a lakeside cabin, where the vampires couldn't enter without an invitation from the homeowner. By dawn, the vampires retreated. Elena scolds Damon for treating Jeremy like this in order to get the antidote, and that he is no different from Stefan, but Damon argued that it was the fastest and most efficient way. Left with no other choice, Elena could only trust Damon's plan to have Jeremy take out the newly turned vampires. Meanwhile, Stefan and Rebecca uncovered 3 key clues to finding the cure. The clues were Jeremy's hunter's mark, the sword in Klaus's possession, and Silas's tombstone. Since going after Jeremy and the sword would mean confronting Damon and Klaus, they set their sights on the tombstone held by Professor Shane. Sheriff Forbes arrested Professor Shane on charges of murdering the council, which conveniently gave Stefan and Rebecca the opportunity to steal the tombstone. However, after turning Shane's office upside down, they still couldn't find it. Rebecca could tell that Stefan was depressed after his breakup, and he no longer had any of his former charm.
Still a sensitive subject, I see.
Stefan, embarrassed and angry, lashed out. Rebecca tried to comfort Stefan and wanted to resume their relationship. Just as they were about to make out, they didn't expect an unexpected visitor to drop by. They disappeared without a trace in a flash. The man was also after the tombstone, and he successfully found a hidden compartment in the bookshelf. At that moment, Stefan and Rebecca revealed themselves, intending to interrogate the man. However, the man had vervain in his system, making him immune to compulsion. They decided to wait until the vervain wore off to compel him for answers, but the man tried to bite off his tongue to kill himself, forcing Stefan to stop him. Unexpectedly, the man seized the moment and grabbed a dagger, stabbing himself in the throat without hesitation. Stefan, however, sensed something wasn't right.
There's another team in the race.
Meanwhile, everywhere Jeremy and Damon went, they found that someone had already wiped out all the vampires before they arrived. The vampire corpses were piled into a small mountain, and they were supposed to be the fuel for Jeremy's hunter's mark to expand.
I did it.
It turned out that Cole was the one behind all of this. Damon and Jeremy couldn't figure out Cole's motive, because such actions would surely anger Klaus, but Cole scolded them, saying that while they were so focused on finding the cure, they were also risking the awakening of Silas, and he couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Killing a hunter would bring a curse. So Cole thought of a better idea: just tear off Jeremy's arms. Damon attacked first, covering Jeremy's escape. When Elena heard the news, she immediately sought help from Klaus, knowing that only he could stop Cole. Klaus immediately called Cole and asked him to let Damon go and not to bother Jeremy again. Klaus never softens his hand against his own brother. Cole pretended to agree, but instead, he compelled Damon to hunt Jeremy down and kill him. Jeremy and Damon eventually crossed paths at a bar. Jeremy saw the murderous intent in Damon's eyes and, sensing danger, quickly jumped into a tunnel. Ignoring Elena's confusion, Damon chased after him. The town's underground tunnels were like a labyrinth. Damon's body was under Cole's control, but his mind was still his own. As he pursued Jeremy, he warned him, "Remember what I taught you? How to hunt vampires." Jeremy slashed his wrist to lure Damon with his blood. Jeremy used the techniques Damon had taught him for killing vampires and applied them to take down Damon. Damon, ready to die, urged Jeremy to shoot a wooden bullet through his heart. When Damon woke up, he gritted his teeth in pain as he dug the bullet out from his skull. Jeremy had gone soft in the end. As long as Damon stayed alive, he would be forced to continue hunting Jeremy. After Cole's scheming was revealed, Rebecca was the first to confront him. If Cole was sealed away, Damon could be freed from the compulsion. Cole's voice cracked with anger as he lashed out at Rebecca for betraying their sibling bond.
And then you're no better than Niklaus.
Daggering siblings when you disagree with them. Look at what this family has become. I mean, Elijah won't even show his face.
Rebecca felt guilty, but Cole had developed a murderous intent toward her. He intended to drive the white oak stake through his sister's heart. Rebecca was in utter disbelief. Klaus appeared, trying to mediate the situation, but Cole wouldn't compromise as long as they kept searching for the cure. With a swift motion, he vanished. Damon tracked Jeremy down by following the blood trail. By this point, Jeremy was utterly exhausted. Just as Damon was about to catch up to Jeremy, Elena arrived to stop him. She tried to reach Damon through love, hoping he could fight against his own nature for the sake of love, just as Stefan had done, but Damon couldn't do it. The only thing he could offer was for Jeremy to end his life.
Shoot now.
This time, Jeremy didn't hold back. Just then, Stefan suddenly arrived and used his own back to shield his brother from the fatal blow. As long as Cole's compulsion remained, Damon would continue to be a threat to Jeremy. To prevent Damon from causing more harm, Stefan drained him of blood and locked him up in the cellar. Damon wanted to see Elena, but Stefan refused, worried that Damon might use his influence to convince Elena to help him escape. Damon lets out a long sigh. Elena wanted to visit Damon, but Stefan coldly refused her. She felt this was Stefan's way of punishing her. Stefan, however, claimed he had already let go.
Sure it is. You've just never seen me like this. You don't know what I look like when I'm not in love with you.
Stefan finally regained the upper hand, but was his indifference genuine, or was it just an act? Later, Stefan met up with Rebecca, with the tombstone in hand and Damon imprisoned. The current situation was in their favor. Rebecca is worried that Stefan will not be able to let go of his old love and will eventually turn to Elena. Stefan, however, proved his loyalty to Rebecca through his actions. Meanwhile, Klaus showed up, demanding to take Jeremy with him. He knew Cole too well. Cole would stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Jeremy will be safer with him, but neither Elena nor Jeremy appreciated his gesture. Klaus wasn't angered. Instead, he instructed Jeremy to continue hunting vampires the next day, reminding him that the entire town's human population could serve as his sustenance. Jeremy's situation is a dilemma.
If Cole doesn't kill me first, then Klaus is just gonna force me to kill more innocent people. How many is it gonna take? 10? 100?
Elena has a flash of inspiration, and then her eyebrows spread out. All vampires originated from the 5 original siblings. If Jeremy could kill one original, thousands of vampires would die with them. A permanent solution.
Cole compelled Damon to kill you. You're gonna kill Cole instead.
This morning, Stefan woke up, got dressed and was about to leave when he was caught in the act by Klaus. Klaus came to ask Rebecca and Stefan to find a way to seal Cole. Cole had stolen the dagger that could do so, and only Rebecca had another one, but Rebecca refused to cooperate with her brother. Klaus then turned to Stefan, telling him that the only way to ensure Jeremy's safety and free Damon from Cole's influence was to seal Cole. Most importantly,
Jeremy will live and we'll all be on our merry way to a human Elena.
Stefan pretended to cooperate with Klaus on the condition that Klaus help him keep an eye on Damon, but Stefan's real goal was to help Elena kill Cole. With Bonnie's current power, it would be more than enough to suppress an original. Elena planned to set a trap and lure Cole in. Given the family bond of the originals, Elena needed Stefan to seal Rebecca in order to buy time and delay Klaus.
She can't come looking for revenge if she's laying in a box.
Elena was becoming more like Catherine by the day. Stefan hesitated but eventually agreed to Elena's plan. No matter how many times Elena hurt him, Stefan still treated her like his first love. As evening fell, Elena began to set her trap. She called Cole, pretending to want to discuss a ceasefire, but to Elena's surprise, Cole was already at her doorstep. However, the bad thing was that Bonnie had not yet arrived, and the phone was out of order, which disrupted Elena's plan. Elena quickly instructed Jeremy and Matt to leave through the back door to find help, while she stayed behind to stall Cole. As Elena had suspected, Cole carried the white oak stake with him. To show her good faith, she invited him inside. On the other side, Bonnie had been disconnected from them because her father had locked her up. Since Rudy became mayor, he reinstated the town's curfew. He even canceled the graduation dance tonight and infused the water supply with vervain. The situation with Elena was urgent, and Bonnie couldn't just stand by and do nothing. At this time, Jeremy hurriedly came to take Bonnie away, but Rudy refused to budge. In a fit of rage, Bonnie caused the lights to explode. Bonnie got past her father, but then her mother showed up to stop her. Abby had once been a witch herself, and she could see that her daughter had fallen into the path of dark magic. She and Rudy came to an agreement. Bonnie was forbidden from using dark magic anymore. Jeremy was furious as soon as he heard that. Elena was waiting for Bonnie to come save her life. But Abby snapped, saying their family had already done more than enough. She wasn't wrong. Bonnie had used all her family's resources to help Elena through crisis after crisis. Jeremy was enraged. In addition, Abby was a vampire. His hunting gene stirred, and he actually pulled out a stake and stabbed Abby. Bonnie immediately stepped between them, telling Jeremy to go back and that she would follow soon. Bonnie had her own reasons for seeking the cure. She wanted to turn her mother back into a human.
I'm not the one that needs to be saved. You are.
Bonnie thought she had convinced her parents, but her mother drugged her and knocked her out. The graduation dance that night was cancelled, dashing Rebecca's hopes once again, but Stefan thoughtfully offered to dance with her. Something was off. Rebecca was about to be deceived once more. Stefan secretly checked his phone. Matt had found no dagger at Rebecca's house, meaning she must be carrying it with her. Meanwhile, Elena was trying to buy some time. She promised Cole that if he left Jeremy alone, she would give up the search for the cure. If Silas was as terrifying as the legends claimed, he would bring disaster to the world. What was her single wish compared to that? But Elena's pretty words didn't dispel Cole's suspicions. Without warning, Cole left. Elena wanted to stop him but couldn't be too obvious.
I'll take your request for a truce under advisement.
When Jeremy returned, Elena regretfully explained that the plan was off. They'd have to kill Cole another day. Just then, the doorbell rang. Jeremy thought it was Bonnie, but when Elena opened the door, it was Cole. Not only did he make a comeback, but he also overheard the conversation between the two siblings.
Fight it in!
Klaus, who was guarding Damon, received a call from Cole. Cole angrily accused him of being crazy, teaming up with outsiders to get rid of his own brother for the antidote. Klaus was shocked and furious. He only intended to seal his brother away, not kill him. Cole vowed with a threat that he would go on a killing spree today. He didn't expect that as soon as he hung up the phone, he was injured by Elena. The Gilbert siblings used their knowledge of the house to play a cat-and-mouse game with Cole. Cole, however, charged straight at them, countering their every move. His arrogance came from being an original vampire. Meanwhile, Klaus interrogates Damon, demanding to know what Elena and Stefan are plotting. But Damon, locked in the dungeon, knew nothing about what was going on outside. Klaus directly used hypnosis to make sure that Damon wasn't lying. He then immediately went to rescue Cole. No matter how much Cole had defied Klaus, when it came to matters of life and death, the originals always stood together. That was the bond of their family. Stefan, tasked with stalling Rebecca, discovered that the dagger was hidden in her boot. He quietly texted Matt, telling him to be ready to get the dagger. Stefan suggested they play a game. He told Rebecca to take off her shoes and try to slide across the floor. Matt hid in the corner, waiting for the right moment, but in a surprising twist, Rebecca handed Stefan the dagger herself. She knew Stefan had danced with her and given her a corsage, all just to get the dagger. Rebecca wasn't stupid, just too trusting. She thought Stefan intended to use the dagger to seal Cole, not knowing that Elena had ordered Stefan to seal Rebecca instead. Now that Stefan had the dagger, he hesitated.
If you were here, I could deceive you.
On the other side, after Abby knocked Bonnie out, she planned to gather witches to strip Bonnie of her dark magic. However, Bonnie woke up, using her magic to overpower her mother. Ever since Bonnie embraced dark magic, her powers had grown far beyond what they used to be. Meanwhile, Elena and Jeremy were separated under Cole's relentless attack. Elena was pinned against the wall by a stake, while Jeremy was dragged into the kitchen by Cole. Killing a hunter would bring a curse, so Cole only wanted to sever the arm that carried Jeremy's hunter's mark. At the critical moment, Elena stepped in once again, freed from his binds. Jeremy quickly used the vervain-infused tap water to weaken Cole. Elena seized the opportunity to grab the white oak stake, and Jeremy took it from her, plunging it straight into Cole's heart. The siblings worked together seamlessly, successfully killing an original. Just then, Klaus arrived, only to watch helplessly as his brother turned to dust before his eyes. Elena tried to defend them by saying they were acting in self-defense, but Klaus yelled angrily,
"I'm gonna burn this house to the ground. And then when you try to flee for your lives, I'll kill you both without blinking."
You kill us, you'll never get to the cure. You'll never be able to make any more hybrids.
Klaus told them that he had long stopped caring about the hybrids. The real reason he wanted the cure was to destroy it. But before Klaus could finish his threat, he suddenly dropped to his knees in pain. Bonnie made a powerful entrance. She ordered Jeremy to invite Klaus into the house, then cast a barrier spell around him. Klaus's body, now under Bonnie's control, was pulled into the boundary.
I will hunt all of you to your end! To you!
Rebecca sensed Cole's death, and she broke down in tears, overwhelmed with grief. Stefan tried to comfort Rebecca, reassuring her that it was Cole who attacked first, and Jeremy had no choice. Knowing that Rebecca longed to become human again, Stefan used that to calm her down. With Cole dead, Damon was finally free from the compulsion. When Elena learned that Stefan hadn't sealed Rebecca, she was confused. Stefan explained that Rebecca also wanted to join in, so she took the initiative to surrender the tombstone. Elena's expression darkened. Damon stood up for Elena and exposed the fact that Stefan had spent the night with Rebecca. Elena's face grew even more grim. Tensions between the Salvatore brothers reached a boiling point. Suddenly, Jeremy cried out in agony. He tore off his shirt, revealing his muscles as the hunter's mark rapidly expanded across his body. The bloodline Cole had created became fuel for Jeremy, propelling him from a novice to a fully realized hunter. This time, everyone could see Jeremy's tattoo.
Here we go.